as you read, and I'd like to talk to you a little bit about us humans and our counterparts, in other words, carnivores. The article I read for this project was written by a man named Adrian Treves, which is this guy. This man is an expert in coexistence and conflicts between people and wildlife worldwide. Him and his partner, who I'd like to just call Dr. Eulis, this guy, he's a conservation zoologist and leading tiger expert in India. So, what is a predator? Well, the dictionary definition says a predator is an animal that naturally preys on others. Well, that makes sense. Well, some predators that come to mind for me would be like tigers, cheetahs, bears, some bigger things. You get the idea. So why am I here to talk to you about this? Well, researching different ways that humans and predators can interact can be beneficial for both parties. When I think of ways to manage carnivores, I always think hunting. I do it a lot personally, or what it's officially called regulated harvest by government officials. Now, there are two others that many don't think of, including me, such as eradication and preservation. Now, when I started reading into eradication and preservation, I realized that eradication and regulated harvest paired together would be the most beneficial, because eradication has to do with getting rid of invasive species, whatever that may be, plants, animals, that climb the food chain and eventually affect the ecosystem with those carnivores. Now, I think the only time preservation would be working to its fullest potential would be in situations such as an Indian reservation or national forest, where we should have little or no human contact and let things play out the way they would without us. Just like a lot of things, there's always the antis for everything, like regulated harvest. There's always the anti-hunters, or I guess the politically correct people that want to keep everything the way it was. Well, what they don't know is in a lot of these situations, hunters can actually make a big difference in the ecosystems that they're hunting in. Here's an example. In some cases, male lions, if there's too many of them in one area, they're very alpha. They have to have their space. Well, they'll actually kill young to kind of prove a point in a sort of way. It goes more depth than that, but it's just one example of many that proves that hunting regulated is the key word. Regulated harvest in certain areas is very beneficial for ecosystems. The authors finish up the article talking about future directions within carnivore management. Things like has the population bounced back? Can they be hunted now? Are they on the border of endangered? Are they endangered, or are they even extinct? Well, one method that could have maybe prevented, or we can use to manage now their population, is us quit building these dumb strip malls and these useless parking lots and concrete jungles that only get in the way of the habitat that they're trying to live in. We're just pushing them into the smallest little areas to live, and we wonder why their populations are hurting and the ecosystems are suffering and we're polluting and this and that. We talk about some reasons why this is happening. Well, we're one of the main ones, but yet we try to push the blame onto other people, and it's just who we are. We just try to push the blame on other things. We don't realize that we are the main cause of what is happening, pretty much. The best thing that is coming out from it is we're starting to lessen our contact with these carnivores and let them go about their business in their own ecosystems, and let them have the populations further grow and repopulate. And I guess that's the best thing that's come out of this, is we are starting to less contact with the carnivores, and eventually it'll get to the point where we stop building those stupid strip malls and parking lots, and that's just how it goes. The authors had this quote in there, and it says, "Public opposition can block translocations, reintroductions, and the natural recovery of carnivores to former habitats." Yeah, it can. They kind of sugarcoat it, saying the public. Well, the public, they're being selfish. It makes things difficult for scientists and people trying to help the ecosystems when every 2 seconds someone's crying about how it's affecting them. people are selfish. They don't realize that these animals are dying. They see these pictures of these animals and they want, no, got to be nice to them. You can't kill them or anything like that. But they're doing just as much damage not allowing these animals to be relocated, reintroduced to their former natural habitats, their ecosystems, even though they chose to live in the same proximity as these animals. But, I could go on and on about this all day, but I think what I've said so far has really gotten, summed up what we need to do to help these animals further. And I just want to thank you for listening, and have a good day.